Hey there friends, come on in. So today I'm going to be making something in my sketchbook that is inspired by my latest trip to London. So this is one of my Art Made For Us videos where I go off to a location, take a bit of video footage so that you can get an idea of where I went, and I'll take lots of photos as references. Then I bring them back to the shed and I have a go at making art inspired by those photos. I also make those photos available on my website so that if you'd like to have a go at creating something inspired by the location, then please do. I'll leave a link to my website where you can find all the information about this in the description below. Now, I would have usually tried to make some art while I was at the location, but I will say it was super cold. My little fingers were dying just trying to hold the camera straight, so I didn't manage to make anything while I was there. So instead, we're back in the shed and I'm going to try and make something in my sketchbook now. I actually have a brand new sketchbook, so... Next up, you can see the footage of where I went, so if you want to sit back and take in the vibe, then do so. If you want to skip ahead to the art making process, then you can do that also. There's no judgment here. The timestamps are down below. Right then, this is the sketchbook that I'm going to be using. I've only just bought this one. It's my first square sketchbook. I'm quite excited. I've wanted one for a while, but honestly, it takes me so long to finish sketchbooks because they're not my natural habitat. I find that I'm more likely to do things on scraps of paper and bits and bobs, and then maybe I'll use the sketchbook as a kind of filing system almost for that, and I'll stick them in. But I do also like, and I get the idea of why sketchbooks are great, so it would be nice if I could get better at using them. But to be honest, I just think you should go with the flow of whatever suits you. If sketchbooks aren't your bag, just don't worry about it. It doesn't make you less of an artist not to use a sketchbook. So anyway, this is a sketchbook, if you like that kind of thing. And it's a lovely square one. I got it from Hobbycraft. This is Sea White sketchbook. What I'm really enjoying on the back of this is that it says Carnet de Croquis, which I'm probably pronouncing very wrong, but also Skizzenbuch. Oh, I've never come across, I didn't realise, I mean, I'm assuming that's German. I didn't realise it was called that. And that's just made me really happy because, like, Skizzenbuch, I'm drawing in my Skizzenbuch. It's just such a better word. So we need to take this off actually, because who wants a label on the back? And thank you, C. White, for making it a lovely peelable label that leaves no residue. Hurrah! Right, so this is what we're going to make art in. And then we get to chat about the fact that these photos that I've printed out. Now, please don't judge my photos by the fact that my printer is not having a happy time at the moment. It is like everything has come out purple, which I'm not saying it's a bad thing. Purple's lovely, but yes, these colours are not true to to the photos, because yeah, we've just gone into purple land. Look, ooh, it's quite the filter. The good news is I'm using them as reference, so it doesn't matter too much that the colours are squiffoo. And when I say squiffoo, I mean messed up, because yeah, they're pretty bad. But I mean, actually, like this one, the stripes are kind of cool because the patterns and things. Anyway, you get the gist. This is what we're working with. As you saw in my footage, it was a bit of a hodgepodge day. I did intend to get more festive footage of stuff, like lovely twinkly lights and festive shop windows and things like that. But it turned out the area that we were in, there wasn't hardly anything up. Like, they hadn't really done very much. It was a bit of a kind of moment. Still, I really enjoy looking at the architecture when I'm in London. It's just so varied. There's so much to see when you look up rather than down. I don't even really know what I'm going to do with this, but the thing that is mainly in my head is collage and maybe like fine liner inking kind of drawing. That's what I'm thinking. So let's see what happens.
I didn't have a plan at all, but all of the angles in these photos, they just seemed to be calling to me to cut them up. So I started there, chopping up the buildings and seeing what visuals I responded to in an abstract way. I have to say, the purple filter actually worked really well for creating a consistency between the images. So thank you to my dodgy printer, though we really will need to have a session soon to sort your inks out. While I am cutting and sticking in a random fashion, let's chat about the art ponder of the day. I came across this question: how would the world be different without artists? And it's one of those questions that feels like it leans towards a quick answer, but actually has a tendency to sprawl. It leads to other questions. Do you notice the contribution of artists in your day-to-day life? Would you miss those contributions if they weren't there? For me, at its core, my answer is that without artists, the world would just be less vibrant. This is especially because, in my opinion, the term artists covers a broad spectrum of people. Painters are artists, sculptors are artists, illustrators and fashion designers are artists, dancers and prop makers and musicians are artists, and the list goes on. Not everyone will agree, but to me, the art pool is a wonderfully busy one. And why is it busy? Because as human beings, we want to express ourselves. We want to explore our uniqueness, whilst also celebrating all the ways that we're the same. Every one of us has a creative energy inside us. It helps us to think around problems and ask questions. Every one of us has a story to tell, and we find ways to tell it, even when we don't think anyone else is listening. If artists didn't exist, what else would disappear? Art thrives inside creative sparks, but so too does innovation and invention. It's an obvious example, but just consider Leonardo da Vinci, who became a swirl of researching, observing, expressing and inventing energy. The artist part of him was deeply interwoven with all of the other parts, so how could one exist without the other? When we are curious about the world, we start trying to understand it. Art is a way of us watching the world, reflecting it back, expressing our thoughts about it, and then making it anew. In wandering around London, even in the most businessy feeling sectors, you can always find art. Whether it is in the sculptures that sit in squares and around corners, or in the performers who give a soundtrack to your every step. There is art in the architecture, in the angles of the city. Because at some point, somebody drew those lines up to the sky and decided to create. I would find a world without artists very different indeed. And I wouldn't like it one bit. What do you think about this question? Let me know your thoughts in the comments because I would love to know. So as you can see, this sketchbook Skizzenbuch session was pretty random, and this result is in no way perfect, but it is kind of happy feeling. I'm looking at it in the edit right now, and there are a bunch of things that I might go back later to add in, such as some deeper blues on the left side, more doodles over the collage on the right, but, and I will say this for eternity, sketchbooks are not portfolios. They are not places where you only ever create your best work. They are where you experiment, where you try out ideas that you're not sure about. I know there are lots of artists out there who create stunning sketchbooks, where pretty much every page shines. And while sharing that can be inspiring, it can also create a sense of disappointment when our own sketchbooks don't look the same. The point is though, sketchbooks are not for anyone else but you. Sure, you'll make some ugly pages, you'll also make some confusing ones, and some that you will return to later. In amongst them, you'll create moments of boldness, excitement, clarity, and vision you weren't planning for. Some of your ugliest pages might lead you to your most effective ideas. And some pages will never lead to anything, but were just a moment when you let yourself play and it was fun. That's what this page was for me. I really enjoyed seeing this large sculpture near Tower Bridge. One, because the animals themselves looked so jolly, but two, because the people interacting with it enjoyed it so much. Everyone was taking photos with it, and it all felt so happy in the winter sunshine. Putting part of it on the page here just evokes those smiley feelings for me, and the whole purple vibe just reminds me that mistakes can be turned around. Thank you so much for watching this video. I really hope you enjoyed it. Remember, if you'd like to use the reference photos for your own sketchbook experiments, hop on over to my website and let me know what you create. Keep making happy, friends, and I'll see you next time.